Here's how you can go from hitting a slice with every single club in your bag to actually creating a draw just through working the wrist angles in a little bit of a better way to control the club face. When this client first came to me, this was what his swing looked like. And so it would start left of target and then curve quite significantly out towards the right. And so when we take a deep dive into the golf swing, there's a lot of good things happening. But for some reason, when he got down into impact, that club face was just too far open relative to the club path. And so at the top of the backswing, we can see that he creates some cupping to that lead wrist. Now, when I'm looking at this position, you have to take into consideration what the club face angle is doing as a result of those wrist angles. It's not necessarily that it's going more into this direction here. It's just not unwinding. It's not unrolling that cupping that he'd started at that top of the backswing position here. And as a result of that, that club face angle is then getting slightly open compared to where we want it to be. And so when it would come down to hit the golf ball, the club face would actually be too open for what he's looking for. He's looking for creating a bit more of a straighter ball flight rather than having no control over how much it curves from left to right. And so this video on the right-hand side is what we got it to. So at the top of the backswing, it's in a somewhat similar position in regards to the wrist angles. There's definitely not as much cupping in that lead wrist, which we did work on a little bit. But our focus was more so, hey, can we try to get that lead wrist to unwind a little bit in the downswing portion so that when he actually hits the golf ball, that club face angle isn't open relative to the path. And so when he actually creates this downswing move, you'll start to see a much different wrist angle position. So if we pause him in this position here and then bring the other video to that same point, just taking note that that right-hand side video, that club face angle is more closed, but it's also more shallow as well. So it's also more behind his hands in this position here. Our focus was just necessarily on the club face angle, but if you understand what movements and what wrist angles can create a better path and a face, then you're somewhat killing two birds with one stone there. You're being able to create a better club face positioning, but you're also being able to create a better club path positioning as well. Then in this next frame here, compared to where he was before, see how there's that club head is outside of the hands there, whereas this one here is a lot more alongside it. Now those camera angles may not be exactly what we're looking for. So this one here may be fractionally out towards the right versus that one there. And so that may play a little role in it. But those shots that he was hitting on the range were totally different to what he was used to. And so as we can see, when it comes down to hit the golf ball, he's slightly towed this one, but he gets somewhat of a pull draw going there. So he's actually started to close the face up and get it into a much better positioning. And so it's super important for us to realize like what those wrist angles are doing and how they're controlling the club face angle, but also the club path as well. And if you like the structure of being analyzed with someone's golf swing, there's a link below where you can drop your swing video in and I can analyze it just like this so that you can have a clear idea of what you need to work on specifically with your swing. And so again, if we take it to two similar frames here, and we can just see the massive difference in the shallowing effect that these wrist angles had for this particular player. The club shaft there is inside the ball line, so we would say that that's somewhat steep, versus this one here is a lot more outside the ball line there. All through just trying to get more bowling, more curling of that wrist on the way down. And so when we can understand what actually creates a slice within a golf swing, we can use that framework to understand the certain parts of their golf swing and what body movements we need to create in order to create the desired ball flight necessary. For this player, it was trying to get less of this happening in the downswing and more of the unwinding so that he could close the face and then shell at the shaft as a result of that. If you've enjoyed this video and want to get a better understanding of how to create a more functional golf swing, then this video here is for you.